What's going on, guys? It's Ruben. Feels good to be back in the woods. It's February 2nd and hunting season's over, unfortunately, but there's still some things you guys can do in the woods to keep you entertained. What I'm doing right now is I'm setting up some cameras and a feeder with some corn and some attractant in it just to see what all's running through here one last time in this particular spot. There has been some big bucks spotted in this particular spot, so I just wanted to see if they're still hanging out here, if they're gonna come back at a later date, or if they're still here right now. So really want to get some answers to that. So just little things you guys can do back home during the off season, and just get you pumped up for the 2022 season. So that's weird to say. I'm not used to saying 2022. So but again, it's February 2nd here in Oklahoma, and we have a big snowstorm coming through. So I thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and put some corn out, some attractant, and see if we can get some movement on camera, and just have something to be excited about. So I'm going to stop talking, and I've got some products that you can buy in your local stores, whether it be Walmart, Tractor Supply, any of your local feed stores. Nothing big. I'm not affiliated with any of these brands that you see. I'm just, basically I picked up some typical stuff that you can get. I did pick up a sack of Buck Bourbon. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. It's supposed to be a really good attractant. I personally have not used it yet. This will be the first time I've used it, so we'll see how it does. Gonna get this stuff poured out before the snow hits. We're supposed to get up to 8 inches of snow here in Oklahoma, so the deer should be moving. The one bad thing about the timing right now is the antlers. They could have dropped by now. Some deer have dropped their antlers, some deer haven't. All deer are different, so this is a very interesting time of the year. So again, it sucks to not be hunting right now, but it does feel good to be out in the woods and being active. So I'm gonna stop talking and get to it. Pour some corn in this feeder that I have. I'll show you guys, give you an up close look to the feeder and some of the supplies that I'm using as far as the corn and the attractant I'm using as well when I'm done. But the feeder that I'm using, I forgot the name of the brand. It's a Moultrie feeder, and you may be able to see it's right there along the tree. It's just a little bag feeder. It's called a gravity feeder. So you pour all your corn in it, and gravity will naturally take the corn down. The key to it is to have the right amount of clearance from the feeder to the ground. That way you're not pouring all your corn out at once. So again, not affiliated with that brand at all. You can find that particular bag at Tractor Supply. This time of the year they probably sold out, so if anything you can order it and have it for any time of the year or for next year. So I have had deer interact with it just fine. I used it during the season in a couple of spots. I want to say it's new. I've never seen it before this year. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's new. Buck Bourbon, 110 proof. They say it works really well, so I'll try it. I'm going to mix it in with some corn. Normally, I probably would just pour the corn in the bag fully, and just put the Buck Bourbon around on the outside. That way the deer can really smell it. But with the rain and the snow coming in today, I don't want the Buck Bourbon to get covered up with snow and wash away with the rain. So I'm going to mix it in with the corn and let it gradually come out, and then surely whenever the snow and ice melts away, that Buck Bourbon and that corn will still be in that bag, and by the time it gets back to normal temperatures and stuff like that, it'll still be in the bag. So that's what I want to show you guys. But again, Buck Bourbon, 110 proof, deer attractant. So again, not affiliated. I'll let you know eventually how I think it works and how well it attracts deer. So All right, guys, I'm back. As you can tell, nothing to it. Like I said, just a simple gravity feeder that I got from Tractor Supply. I think I spent about, I want to say it was like $12. So not expensive at all. This is for everybody that, you know, maybe you do have the big expensive feeders, but you need extra feeders somewhere else and you don't want to spend all the money. Or maybe you don't have all the money in the world, so you just want to have a cheap feeder. This feeder right here, again, is called Moultrie. M-O-U-L-T-R-I-E, I believe. Is how you spell it. I got it from Tractor Supply, and the bag is like a pine material. It's supposed to look like a pine tree. So again, that really doesn't matter, but it just gives it more of a natural look if you're into that. So it's real simple. I poured the corn in. I poured about half bag of corn into the feeder, and then I took that buck bourbon, poured half of that in there, poured some more corn in there, pour some more buck bourbon in there, so on and so forth, just to get a little mix, you know, instead of pouring it all in at once or just pouring just corn and letting that bourbon wash away like I'm talking about. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna show you guys the feeder, what it looks like with the corn in it. I only put 50 pounds worth of corn in it. The bag does hold 100 pounds, but like I said, I'm not hunting anytime soon. I just want to see if there's anything traveling through here. This particular area I have hunted. I hunted it this year, and I had a young buck walk underneath my stand. If you guys remember, if you watch the channel or if you pay attention to the page on Facebook, I posted a video of a young buck in my stories that walked right underneath the stand. Anyway, great spot. I know they're traveling through here every day. I just want to know if there's a big buck or anything worth shooting that's traveling through here. That's my main concern. So here we are with the feeder. Again, Moultrie. See if I can get a good look for you guys. There's the Moultrie feeder. Put some corn in there. I took a little bit of buck bourbon at the end and just spread it out just in case there's anything that's going to run through here within the next few hours, which I doubt it with all the noise that I'm making. But again, that's gravity feeder. If you notice, it's not letting any corn out now because it's pretty much full at the bottom. As they eat the corn, obviously, the corn in the bag will drop down and produce more corn on the ground. Like I said, I only put 50 pounds in there, but it holds 100. So here's the corn right here. Another half would be 100. So 2 bags of corn and you'll be good if you want to get this type of feeder. Again, once again, not affiliated with the brand, but I have used it. I believe I've got 3 of those now. And all 3 of them have done good. I was concerned about the corn getting wet and maybe mildewed or anything like that, and that has not been a problem. So I will keep utilizing them, and I just want to let you guys know about them as well. Also want to talk to you guys about the camera that I'm utilizing. Again, not the most expensive camera. It's not a cell camera, it's just a wild game camera. Eventually I'll get some cell cameras. If you haven't been following me, I've mentioned a few times before that I am not a hunter that uses cameras. This is literally the first time I've utilized a camera. So it'll be fun this year to track deer with the camera. And I just stared off because I'm pretty sure I just seen a deer that took off just now. But anyway, I've got a wild game camera. Eventually I'm going to step up and get some cell cameras, but I've never used cameras before, ever. I've never used cameras. All the deer I've killed have just been by, you know, knowing the area that I'm hunting and knowing that they travel through those particular areas. Other than that, every time I've killed a deer, I've had no idea where that deer came from or what deer it was. So it's gonna be fun this year to actually track deer like the big dogs do on TV and stuff like that, and start naming deer and stuff like that. In a sense, it kind of takes away the fun for me, just because I love sitting in a tree and not knowing what I'm going to see. But just because you have cameras doesn't mean you're going to see the deer anyway. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But just to give you guys a visual of the setup, there's a camera right there. That next to it is just a phone holder. I was using that to record the video. But yeah, there's the camera right there, wild game camera. And it's sitting right across from projects for you guys to do back at home. If you're like me and you love hunting and you have no idea what you're gonna do until hunting season rolls back around in your state or city, wherever you're from. then you have to keep yourself occupied, right? So this is one way you can do it. I'll be putting up multiple videos and tips and stuff like that that you can do. Again, Let's Talk Outdoors. That's the page. You can find me on Facebook mainly right now, and YouTube as well. Instagram's on the way. I do have a page. I just haven't posted much content on there yet. I've just posted stories, no pictures or anything like that. So please, guys, just follow with me, man. I'm going to grow as I go. So hopefully you guys can stick with me. Nothing I do is perfect. I'm not rich by any means. So I buy the typical stuff. I buy the stuff that I sometimes grew up on. And sometimes I'll get adventurous and I'll buy stuff that's expensive that I have no idea what I'm using. So that's the best thing about this page. I want you guys to interact and tell me what you use, what you utilize. If you use some of the things that I'm using and you're like, hey, eventually this bag is going to tear up, let me know that. You know what I mean? If you're like, hey, I used that Buck Bourbon before and it is great and I'm going to forever use it, let me know that. Leave a comment. Share a picture, a video, anything, man. I'm willing to learn from you guys, man. I don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. The best way we can grow in hunting, fishing, and farming, which is what I'm all about, is by communicating with each other and sharing our ideas. Don't be stingy, man. Grow the sport, okay? Well, I'm getting out of here. It's cold. It's mid-20s out here in Oklahoma. We've got a big snowstorm for Oklahoma coming through, so I'm going to get in and I'm going to eat good and sit on my butt and chill out. So we'll see you guys. Let's talk outdoors. Peace.